Alright, so for practice here, we really need to take a look at fuel. I believe I'm gonna do super softs for both of them, because, oh yeah, he can definitely do it on super. She's gonna be a few laps less, but yeah, I mean, I'm planning on doing like 7 and 8 lap stints, I think, as of right now at least, so that should be fine. And even if we don't stick with that, I mean, 3 stints is pretty much gonna be the way, it's just a question of how long. So even if we don't stick with 7, 7, 8, you know, if we did like, I don't know, 6, 6, 10 or something, she should still be able to comfortably do that on the super, so no big deal. Alrighty, let's go ahead and hop into practice here. So since I don't have to worry about the actual setup, and really we're just looking at fuel is the biggest thing we gotta keep an eye on here. So we're just gonna send both of them out on supers for a nice long run. Let's see, how much? 8 laps, and there's a little bit left, so I think it's gonna be like 9 laps. I guess that means that we're limited to on fuel. So okay, so 6, 6, 10. I mean, I just kind of pulled that out of the top of my head, but 6, 6, 10, for example, is out. But all right, so let's let them get their out laps in, and then we'll start doing some calculations once they're on flying lap. Alright, so right as they cross the line there, Gomez will put on, we'll leave on normal for right now. She's going to go for, well, let's work our way up. She's going to go for high. And we'll leave it on neutral driving style because that's what they're going to use for most of the race. So 7.06 for both. Hang on, calculator here. That way I can have it written down and ready. So 7.06 they're starting with. They're out for 6 laps, so let's try and do... Yeah, we'll do like 3 laps and average it. So that's 1. That's 2. Alrighty. That's 3 flying laps completed. Alright, so Gomez first, because he's on just the normal fuel mode. He's got 4.22 left, so he used 2.84 laps of fuel. Divide by 3, that's an average of 0.946, so 0.95 per lap. And then, ooh. You know, something just occurred to me. I was about to say, let's turn him up to overtake because he's got a little more fuel and we'll get a reading off of him. But I was going to say, well, maybe we should do Anthony because... Actually, seeing that really wouldn't make sense the more I think about it. I was going to say maybe we should do it on Anthony because she won't risk damaging the engine, and then I just noticed that there is no condition button. So for a second I was wondering actually if part condition is affected during practice sessions, and it appears not. But as I started explaining it, I realized it completely didn't make any sense because her mechanic does have that trait, but you don't choose those until the race, so it wouldn't apply anyway. So all right, so he's done his lap, so let's turn him up for overtake just to get ready. So he's at 0.95 for normal. Just note that down here. All right, she went down to 3.75. So 7.06 minus 3.75. She used 3.31 laps of fuel, nominal laps of fuel. Kind of wish they would just give it to you in like liters or kilograms or gallons or any unit other than laps, because it just makes it kind of confusing to talk about. But all right, divide by 3. Use an average of 1.103. So call that 1.1 laps of fuel on high. Okay, which is about what I had down. So, oh yeah, just compare, I guess. My figuring was the numbers I was using before was 0.9 for normal, 1.1 for high, and 1.5 for overtake, and that's just based on what I found in the save files. But again, that's the raw value and doesn't take into account the drivers, the cars, you know, their stats and skills and all that kind of stuff. Like, it doesn't actually, that's just the base value that then gets multiplied by whatever modifiers. So we really should have been doing this before, to be perfectly honest. Alrighty, and then, you know what, we've got one more mode to test, so it might as well, just because it couldn't hurt to get low, to get numbers for low, just in case, so we know, you know, in case of emergency, basically how long we can stretch it. But all right, let's just make note of what they're starting with now. 4.22 laps for Gomez and 3.75 laps for Anthony. And then we're just going to send them around to do another, like, 3 laps, I think. Or as many flying laps as we can get in, at least. So that's 1. Shocking that Gomez went faster when we turned his engine up. 2. Shit, I don't know that he's actually gonna... Oh, he just barely made it, thank God, so we can actually get readings. So that's 3. Alrighty, so Gomez started with, what did I say, 4.22, I think it was? Yeah, 4.22 minus 0.09 that he ended up with. Jesus, that was close. 4.13 divided by 3 for an average of 1.3766666. So 1.38. So let's call that 1.4. And I was working with 1.5. So okay, so we were a little bit over on that. And then, yeah, not that I really think we'll need it or that it'll matter, but again, it might just be good to have a reference in case of emergencies or in case we need to use it. So she started with 3.75. She ended up with 1.14 is 2.61. Divided by 3 laps is 0.87. So you really don't even save all that much from low, or going to low from normal. And I wonder what the actual performance difference is there. All right, now I'm getting a little bit carried away here, and we can just oh, who cares, the session's almost over, just let that play out. But I'm just curious here. 0.87 out of 0.95 is called 91.6%. So 8.4% lower fuel. I wonder if I would be willing to bet you probably go more than 8.4% slower though. So I don't think, okay, so maybe it is good to do that kind of test, because then it shows us that I really don't think it's actually worth it to pretty much ever use the low fuel mode unless you absolutely need it. You know, you got a very, very small window there where, like, if you've got 0.91 laps of fuel remaining, then you're gonna have to turn it down because normal won't get you there. But I don't think it's worth it. So all right, so let's take a look-see here then as far as strategy. And make sure we use the new numbers that we calculated here. Yeah. All right, so yeah, we're pretty much, actually we didn't do too bad in practice. I wasn't really paying attention to times at all, but 7th and 11th, that's actually not bad. That's a good sign, especially considering we took a bit of a risk there with our race sponsor. But all right, so let's just finish up on strategy here. So we're gonna do 7, 7, and 8 we'll start them on slightly different strategies. So one driver will start off doing 7, and the other will start off doing 8, just so that way we don't have to worry about stacking them in the pits. But alright, we can carry a maximum of, I think it's going to be 9 laps of fuel. So I don't think, yeah, we're not going to be able to carry enough fuel to do the entire thing on overtake at all. Because, yeah, 7 times 1.4 is 9.8. So we won't make, and that's the 7 lap. We actually need to do an 8 lap in there as well. So we definitely won't make the whole thing on overtake. 7 times 1.1 though is only 7.7, so 8 laps. And 8.8, so 9 laps. If we run on high. Or let's see, how many laps could we get in on overtake? Because honestly, it's, if we're taking a full fuel load anyway, then yeah, how many laps could we get in on overtake then? Didn't like say 5. That's 5 laps on overtake would be 7 laps of fuel, and then we need to do, yeah, no, that's not quite enough. 3 times 1.4 is 4.2. Plus, then we need to do, for an 8 laps, then we need to do another 5 laps on high, so that's 5.5, so it's 9.7 total. No, but for a 7 lap stint that might work actually. Do 3 on overtake is 4.2 plus 4 laps on high times 1.1 is 4.4 is 8.6. Okay, we can do that. For the 7 lap stints, we run the first 3 laps on high, or the first 3 laps on overtake, and then the last 4 laps on high, and we're gonna have to do, what is it, I guess 2 laps, right? For the 8 lap stint, 2 times 1.4 is 2.8 plus 6.6, and oh, it's still too much, Jesus Christ. Can we do any laps on overtake for the 8 lap stint? 1.4 plus, what would that be, 7.7 is 9.1. And I did round up just a little bit, it's like 1.3, what I say was 1.356, something like that. Ah, fuck it. So it's just not even worth gambling on, I guess. So for the 8 lap stint, they're going to have to do the whole thing on high, but for the 2 7 lap stints, they can each run 3 laps in overtake mode. Alright, not bad. So we're going to have to do a little bit of fiddly management here and paying attention, but that's not such a bad thing. That's not such a bad thing at all. So, alright, let's go ahead and get ready to hop into the race here then.